What's up? I'm Sam Ryder and you're watching ESC Fan TV.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to ESC Fan TV and the first, I guess you could say, official video for the 2023 season in October. It's getting earlier every year, I swear to God. I know I say that every year, but it's happening. But tonight we are here to discuss the official Eurovision host city, which is Liverpool. After many months of speculation and wondering, and even places like Darlington submitting a bid, don't ask me why they did, I will never know. It has gone to the coastal town of Liverpool. Yep, they were announced last Friday, beating out Glasgow, and that is where Eurovision will be on the 9th, 11th, and 13th of May. And we're here to talk about it, as well as a few other things. As always, if you want to get involved, drop us a comment, and we will happily get put them on screen. So just drop us a chat, and we'd love hearing from you. And it'll be looked after by my lovely co-host to my stage left, Stuart. How are you, Stuart?
I'm very well, thank you very much, Tom Light. How are you doing, Elliot? It's been a while. It feels weird, doesn't it, kind of doing this again?
It does, but we do it because we love it. So
Well,
that was forced us. So
I don't know. I hate Eurovision. I don't know why the hell I'm here, actually, quite honest. I do this every single year, and you just have to kind of wind me up. But I'm like a Duracell bunny, just fill me with the batteries, and I'll go for the season, and then let me go again for a little bit, and have a little lie down. I know what you do with your Duracell batteries, Michelle, but we'll get onto that later on.
And that is 2 minutes 30 before the second crude comment of the night. I think that's a record. Moving over to my right, we have Sean. How are you, Sean?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Elliot. Yeah, excited. Very excited. It's going to be great.
And directly below Sean, which is not sure where they're used to being, but it's Phil and Michelle, the king and queen of ESC Fan TV. How are you?
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Thanks.
fine,
Yeah.
yeah. It's still October.
I know, but it's like it feels like it's gradually starting now, doesn't it? Now we've got the host city and the dates. It's sort of like
Yeah. I sort of feel like every Eurovision year ages me by 2 years.
And to get them on screen in October, we just have to promise them wine, which they do have out of shop. So just watch them just get a bit more weird as the night goes on, as per. And directly below me, all the way from Stockholm, we have Gustav, because we needed some international opinion on this, I guess.
And you and to me, I'm back. It's been forever, and I'm so excited.
Well, we are glad you are back, Gustav, honestly, I promise. And finally, as you'll see, we have someone new who hasn't been on ESC Fan TV, and we couldn't do a show about Liverpool without someone from Liverpool. So please welcome a good friend of mine as well, and born and raised Liverpudlian, Meg.
Hiya, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk about Liverpool.
The question is, first and foremost, have you calmed down since the announcement last Friday? Because I'm pretty sure I could hear the faint screaming in that direction from Manchester to Liverpool when it got announced.
Calm down. I've not slept since Friday. I'm so excited. My head's spinning still. I can't believe it's happening, to be honest. Dreamt of this.
Sorry to interrupt, Meg, but did you just say calm down?
I did. Yeah. We've got the first calm down in of the season. Not even 5 minutes in.
I'm not going to say drink to that because we will all be on the floor by the end of the night. But yes, as we said, it is Liverpool. They are hosting Eurovision 2023 at the M&S Bank Arena. And I'm just going to say it. Yes, it's not like a normal Eurovision. It's an M&S Eurovision because that tweet has killed me every time I've seen it. It's funny, I'm sorry. And if you don't get it, British humour, I guess. But yes, the 9th, 11th and 13th of May, it has been confirmed they are the dates. So first and foremost, and please mention along in the chat room as well your thoughts on this. Are we happy it is Liverpool? Phil and Michelle. Now, Michelle, I'm not going to play the clip where you said you can clip this and say it will definitely be in Glasgow, but you were pretty certain it's going to be in Glasgow, and it's not. But are you still happy?
Always happy. When have you ever known me not to be happy? It's like Liverpool's a lot closer for us than blooming Glasgow, I tell you that.
It's also somewhere I've never been. I have never been to Liverpool, so I've no idea what it's like.
I've been once, and it was 30 years ago to get a passport, and all I did was go on the ferry across the Mersey, and as soon as I stood on it, my knees went and I puked. So I can't wait. I'm going to have a go again.
So what you're saying is the bar is low to surpass that experience of Liverpool.
Yeah, I think it's going to be brilliant because we all know the Liverpoolian hospitality.
Oh yeah.
So because every town in the country has got a Liverpoolian in it saying how good Liverpool is. So it must be good.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. And like I said, it's 45 minutes by car, an hour by the train for me. So can't say I'm not too upset. I could do it in a day. Woohoo! Sean, like I said, you were one also mentioned about Liverpool in our first initial show, and this is when we didn't even have the short list of 7, let alone then the 2 and then Liverpool. And even you then said it could be them. Obviously, they have a lot of musical heritage there. They've got the Beatles and Sonia. But do you think? Well, she is musical royalty in some sense, mainly Eurovision.
She's Eurovision royalty, yeah. But Jerry and the Pacemakers, Cilla Black, Holly Johnson from Frankie Goes Hollywood. I could go on, maybe if you give me a few minutes. But yeah, you know, I said it on the last show that we did that Liverpool really sticks out as being one of those cities that have got a lot of musical heritage. And I really had a strong feeling that it really could be Liverpool. And when it came down to Glasgow and Liverpool, everyone was going, oh, it's Glasgow, it's going to be Glasgow, it's going to be Glasgow. And I thought, no, I reckon it's going to be Liverpool, especially with the strong links to Odessa. I just, I think it's going to be a brilliant host city. I think it's perfect for Eurovision. And I can't wait to go around the city trying to find all the life-size cardboard cutouts of Sonia that I believe are going to be dotted around. You know, proper life-size ones, you know, 2'6", of Sonia dotted all around the city. I can't wait. I just want to find them all. I'm not bothered about the music. I just want to go and play that game.
I was going to say, a life-size cutout of Sonia is still going to be hard to find.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Unless she's like in heels, it's going to be difficult to find.
It's a bit like in Stockholm when the Swedes had Eurovision, and every time you cross the road, you'd press the button and you'd have Heroes or Euphoria playing.
Yeah,
it's going to be like that. But like you'd be just literally walking into little tiny Sonias all the time. You'd be tripping over yourself over a Sonia. But hey, better the devil you know.
No. Drink. I think we should make that a drink game. Every time we make a reference to a song this season, take a drink. Good stuff. As the token diversity on this panel being the international here, a lot of people thought it was going to be Glasgow, mainly for 2 reasons, but the main one being its transport links, mainly by plane. And also Liverpool does have an airport, but it's not a major airport. Were you surprised to see it being Liverpool instead of Glasgow? Partly for that reason, and also were you happy about where it's going to be regardless?
Well, I know nothing about Liverpool, like zero. I just Googled pictures of it right now when we were talking about it. And personally, I wanted Glasgow because it's funnier to say Glasgow than Liverpool, but that's maybe a silly reason. But you know me, I'm a bit silly. When it comes to transportation, I guess we will see how that works out, won't we?
Yes, we will. And now I'm going to just quickly jump back to Phil and Michelle, because Michelle's been doing her research on this and has a plethora of fun facts about Liverpool, and she's just told me she has one now. So Michelle, the floor is yours.
Yep, it was concerning the songs. It says Liverpool is one of the few UK cities mentioned in hit songs, including Long-Haired Lover from Liverpool by Jimmy Osmond, Going Down to Liverpool by the Bangles, and In Liverpool by Suzanne Vega. And of course, more local songs include The Mighty Wars, Heart as Big as Liverpool, and The Leaving of Liverpool by the Dubliners. So it's got more musical, I don't know. It's mentioned more than any other city in the UK.
Surely more than Glasgow.
More than Glasgow.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, so we're going to name one Glasgow, but there's lots of Liverpools mentioned in songs.
Maybe that's part of the reason why. Right, Meg, as a Liverpudlian, obviously you follow this very carefully. And like I said, it really wasn't until like 48 hours beforehand that people started to believe Liverpool could actually take it. Obviously, you're thrilled with the result, let's not pretend. But in
yeah, absolutely.
But what do you think swayed it for Liverpool? Because obviously Glasgow had a lot going for it. Like everyone's talking about the arena, and that's where the Eurovision film was hosted, and it'd be nice for it to be in Scotland, not England. And everyone, and I say everyone, Eurovision fans and bookmakers were dead certain it's going to be Glasgow until the announcement. So what do you think actually swayed it? Like, what does Liverpool have there that we're maybe not seeing that would be useful?
Well, I've got to say, I thought it was going to be Glasgow as well until Graham Norton announced it. So I was the same, mainly because of the slightly bigger arena and the Scotland thing as well. But Liverpool really had the best social media presence, I think, of all the host cities that I saw anyway. They really formed their own hype and then rode it all the way to the end. And I think that really got the passion across. And I was so made up to see everybody responding so well to it as well, because that's kind of what we Scousers are famous for. So
brilliant, as well as your.
Sorry, I think my laptop went funny then. Sorry.
No, carry on as you were. Then I'll say I'll let you finish your point.
No, so I just think we've got such a passion behind it all, and the Ukraine links as well. And yeah, I think in the end, we just, like I said, we just rode our hype to the end, and here we are.
And now it is yours, and no one can take it away from you. It is etched in history. So
excited.
Stuart, what are the chat rooms saying, and what do you think? Because obviously, I know I mentioned about the airport, but let's be honest, Manchester is just down the road. Liverpool still does fly to quite a few destinations. It's a ferry for Ireland. They don't have to go far at all. They can just hop on the ferry. But like I said, what do you think swayed it for Liverpool, and what are the chat rooms saying regarding the whole situation?
Oh, well, the chat room are just, they're barking mad, aren't they? Let's not pay them any attention for a minute or two. But let's talk about why Liverpool won this bid. And, Glasgow have clearly been the favourites right the way through. Let's loop back to why. They were the favourites because of the connection with the Eurovision movie. And, you have to look at that and think, well, there's an obvious connection there. And why would you not want to recreate the Eurovision movie in reality? Because that's a dream come true. However, I think Liverpool has stronger musical links. And I think there's a lot more musical heritage with Liverpool. It's easier to get to as being the centre of the United Kingdom. I don't know necessarily that the airports are really that big of consideration given the size of Glasgow Airport, but you've got Manchester Airport, within an hour's drive or an hour's train from Liverpool, and you've got a ton of hotels in Liverpool. And to be honest, Liverpool is a fantastic city. I was slightly surprised because just 6 months ago, I was stood in the centre of the M&S Arena for non-Eurovision related reasons. And it looks tiny. I've got to tell you, I've stood in the centre, I've looked up, and I thought there is no way in hell that a Eurovision event will be held in this arena. It's really, really small. And you've got the Jury's Inn Hotel literally seconds away from it. I suspect that's probably a million quid a night right now. But it is so small. So it is quite interesting how Eurovision is going to be staged. But there is so much to do in Liverpool. There is so much fun for Eurovision fans, for non-Eurovision fans, for people that just want to come up because they're curious as to what's going on. And I guarantee you it's going to be the perfect Eurovision, Elliot.
Good. No, like I said, I do think, it's next door to Manchester. A lot of countries fly directly to Manchester, and then it's just a coach. Like, they all have coaches anyway, like trying to take them to the arena in the cities regardless. You can fly directly to Malta from Manchester, Italy, France, Spain, and what's an hour? What is an hour? And like I said, I do think it's part like the social media presence, because I said they had their own. It was like a 2-minute video they released, wasn't it? Like saying Liverpool's passion for the contest, and it was quite a stunning piece of work. Manchester did literally fuck all online from what I could see, so I was quite annoyed because I wanted it here, and then they did nothing about it. It's like, why? It's a golden opportunity. They said nah. But like I said, it's Liverpool. I must admit, I did enjoy all the fan theories about Ollie Murs coming through on the Friday, like because of his tour, and then he's got a new song out, and he's going to be on the One Show, and it's announced. And then someone on this panel, I won't say who, said he could be the intellect or the actual artist. No, he was just there to plug his music. It was nothing too special. But it's just the theories people come up with. But like I said, it's Liverpool, and what they have done as well is they have signed effectively a contract stating that Ukraine will be put first within the shows of it. So it's going to be a joint effort. Ukraine will be heavily featured, and that's effectively now been put in writing. It was announced the other day. And just to swing into that a bit more, 2017 host and 2013 Junior Eurovision host Timor is currently at the NTAs, the National Television Awards in the United Kingdom, hosting and presenting an award this evening. Raise of hands. Does that kind of look quite obvious he is going to host Eurovision? And I think he'd be brilliant. When Ukraine hosted it in 2017, I said he was the perfect host. I thought he was wasted in the green room. He's a huge fan of the contest and he knows his stuff. So give him the job. We don't know who's hosting. All we know is it's not going to be Graham Norton because he's staying in his commentary box, he said. So fine by me. That's not shade. I like Graham Norton, but I just don't think we need British hosts when it is Ukraine's Eurovision.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
Yeah, Graham Norton's Irish. Yeah, Verka and Sonia.
Okay. Can I just pick up on a point about that Stuart raised about the size of the M&S Bank Arena or whatever it's called in Liverpool? And you said it's tiny. You are right. I mean, I've been there myself. It's quite small. But I thought the same when I went to the Globen in Sweden. I thought that was really small. And when you look at the capacity of what we had in Tel Aviv last year, although it's 13,000 when it's full capacity, they only use 65% of it, so something like 6,500, nearly 7,000. But as we know, when you're actually there, they always look pretty small and intimate. But on TV, they look huge. They look massive. And what we've got to remember is they're making a TV show at the end of the day. It's not a normal concert that you go and pay for, like, you know, in these big, you know, arenas and stadiums or whatever. They're making a TV show, and it's perfectly the right size. And the fact that it's got connected to it the conference centre, which will be perfect for the delegations and the press centre, I think it's a perfect setting for Eurovision.
I think they might use that for the green room, actually, Sean. I've got a feeling. I've got a feeling they might turn the green room into or move the green room into the conference centre, because it's like basically a square box, adjacent to the M&S arena, and you can't really cut the doors off. You kind of have to work with what you've got. But if they do that, then actually you can get a fair few thousand in, which is what people want.
Yeah.
Is that a separate building, or is it like a connected,
it's connected
walkway?
Connected.
It's connected, right? Okay, so they have a separate building. I'm not sure how that would work for a green room, but it's connected. It could be like a Tel Aviv situation where it was like next door. And like I said, that looked quite small. When everyone said it was in Tel Aviv, it was like, how's this going to work? But on TV, it looked like a very good arena, and it was a very well-produced show. And that's the thing. There's going to be more people watching on TV than in the arena. So you've got to really think, at the end of the day, all these national finals and everything, it's a TV show first. And then a live event second. It's the reality of it. But like I said, it's Liverpool. Like I said, it's now, I just checked, it's going to be called the Liverpool Arena for the duration of the contest. It will not be using its branded name. I'm not sure if that's the BBC don't like using brands and things like that, and that's why they've removed it for this. Probably is. But it's going to be known as the Liverpool Arena from here till May. But like I said, if they've got like a separate building, perfect for the green room, perfect for delegations, perfect for press. It's a good little extra space they can use. So
I'm going to go in there now. Every time the camera's like in a prime location, I'm going to go in there with an M&S sandwich, just kind of push it up to the camera. There you go. You can have your branding. There you go, M&S. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Call it the Liverpool Arena. It's the M&S Arena, for goodness sake.
Oh, the host will just come out in green, just as a little subtle nod to it, won't they? But also, what has come out in the last few days is that the fan zone is most likely going to be in location known as Piers Head. Meg, for people who do not know, myself included, what Piers Head is exactly, just give us a rundown. Like, what is there? How close is it to the arena itself? And is that a good location in the scope of Liverpool?
It's perfect. It is. Like, obviously, as a fan, you always think, what would Eurovision be like in my home city? And in my head, I thought the Pierhead is perfect for a Eurovision village. It is basically, if you watched the BBC News when the original 7-city shortlist was announced and you had Sonia outside the Beatles statue, that's the Pierhead. So every time I talk, I start to go funny. Sorry. It's a really famous location. Have I gone again? Yeah.
No, we can see and hear you.
Fabulous. Every time I talk, I seem to freeze. Sorry. No, it's a really famous and scenic location. It's got the three Graces, which are really famous buildings, like the Liver buildings, and the other two are there as well. And it hosts a lot of big events. A lot of concerts take place there and things like that. The ferry goes from there, so it's a really famous part of the city, and it's super central as well. It's like a 5-minute walk from the arena, so pretty perfect, really.
Perfect. And Michelle, I did see your eyebrows perk up then when she mentioned a ferry. Long-standing viewers will know about that joke.
Yeah, I bloody love a ferry. Why would you not love a ferry?
She's gonna do a day trip to Ireland and back on like the Wednesdays. Like she's got to go see her. Like bye.
I don't see any reason why not. We can have an ESC fan TV trip to Ireland and back on the ferry.
I'm not convinced it'll come back. That's the issue.
That is true. Would you like a fun fact?
Yes, go on, Michelle.
Ready? The RSPCA was founded on Bold Street in October 1809, with the RSPCA Liverpool branch now the longest established animal charity in the world. You're welcome.
Michelle has literally a lot more of them coming, believe me. And if you want to see more facts like that, make sure you subscribe to us and follow us on our social medias and like this program. No, literally do it. If we get more likes and stuff, I'll make Michelle do all this in a separate video. I will. She looks terrified now. Good. But like I said, Liverpool is going to be the host city. We have discussed that and we are very happy with that. But now let's turn slightly to the UK itself and its bid for Eurovision. So obviously we went with TaP last year, worked out very well, got Sam Ryder on board, sent a good song, has revealed there was a little hint in his staging from the moment he got announced in the one show, which is very clever. But they have now announced this week they are starting up their search again this week to find their next artist. So it's a very interesting time at the BBC and TaP because now we know that they're looking now effectively. Stuart, if you were in that room and like helping with TaP, what would you say they need to do to keep this run going? Obviously, we're not expecting second again. It would be nice. And obviously, Sam has set the bar quite high. But what should we be going for coming for Liverpool?
Well, it's $1 million question. I think the BBC and especially TaP absolutely struck gold last year or this year. We're still in 2022, aren't we? It's amazing the Eurovision season starts so early these days. I would go very similar to what they did last year. I think you've got to find the next Sam Ryder. So if you're going to take that direction, you need to continue down the path of TikTok and finding someone who appeals to the younger generation. I couldn't believe, actually, how many non-Eurovision fans, friends that I've got, would actually say, I didn't know Sam Ryder was in Eurovision. They knew him off TikTok. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a TikToker, really. I am on it, but I don't use it. I didn't know who he was. But 12 million people did. And there's a ton of people that don't watch Eurovision that tuned into Eurovision in the UK and other countries to watch Sam Ryder. And not only that, he can sing. You know, the guy has got the most incredible voice. And we spent a shed load of money on the performance and the staging, which helps too. And the song's pretty good. So I think there's a ton of things you have to try and replicate, and you don't always strike gold with all of them. Good singer, good staging, good song, someone who's pretty well known. It's like we went and picked a current star within the charts this year. And we kind of did. They were just on TikTok. Now he's becoming more of a household name. So that's the route we've got to go down. In terms of names, I wouldn't have a clue, but that's the route we need to take. Interestingly, on genre, though, pop is still the #1 genre in the UK market. music market. It's about 35% of all music listened to is pop music. However, very closely behind, around 30 to 32% is rock. And that's something we've never done before, is send a rock artist or band. Is 2023 the time?
Maybe
I've got visions of Sonia in a mosh pit.
With her ponytail, that's a weapon. Christ. No, I must admit, I'm with you. I did not know Sam Ryder before he got announced. Several of my friends knew. They messaged me about it. I was like, oh, I know him from TikTok. And I was like, I have no idea who this man is, but best of luck to him. But everyone else seems to know him but me. But I'm not on TikTok. Phil, Michelle, is Stuart right? Is social media now the way to go instead of looking at who's relevant in the charts? Because social media is a very powerful tool.
Well, I'd just like to say that Stu's never right, but oh yeah, definitely. The social media thing is absolutely phenomenal. Sam Ryder goes, I'm going to be here at X o'clock on X date, and people turn up. And, I say that, and people try and get me arrested. It's what you need. You need somebody that knows all about all the TikTok and the Instagram and schniz like that. But you also need somebody that isn't arsey and isn't a diva and goes, oh my God, I'm in Eurovision, pass me a napkin, I'm in Eurovision, don't look me in the eye. You need someone that's going to go around to every country like Sam did, go on all the talk shows, be happy, be smiley, not be arsey, not be any trouble whatsoever. Yet again, Elliot, we were on a ferry on our way back from Amsterdam, and we put the telly on. Sam Ryder's on Dutch TV, and he's not on a Eurovision-based programme. He's just on a chat show, and the chat show host had seen him previously, thought he looks like a nice bloke, I want him on here, and he's just on there chatting all sorts of stuff. And this is what we need. We need someone that's personable and approachable. We don't need somebody locked up in a little box going, don't look me in the eye. We don't need someone like me. We need somebody personable.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Sam, he certainly did a lot of work in the promotion side. But I think the other thing we need to do is not be bland.
Yeah.
Because that's what we've done previously before this year, is we've been bland, done a fairly harmless, radio-friendly
middle
song.
of the road.
Middle of the road.
Yeah.
That doesn't... The problem with something like that is it gets lost. You need a song that people are going to listen to and think, oh, wow, that's brilliant.
You need to
Not everybody,
yeah.
but you need some people to really love the song.
You need to take a chance, and it needs to be a Marmite. It needs to be a love it or a hate it, and they always do better. The people that love it will vote for it. The people that hate it doesn't really matter. But if you've got a middle of the road song, nobody's going to vote for it. They're going to go for the love it or hate it song.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Like I said, people can't downvote a song, but if you love them much, you're going to vote for it. But if you say it's your 8th or 9th, you're not going to pick up the phone then because you're like, well, I've got these other 6 I want to vote for instead. Good stuff. Coming to you about this, obviously Melodifestivalen, they tick a lot of boxes and a lot of genres. But going on the whole social media thing, they tend to say go down to like idol or you're a big name. The only person I can think of in recent years who's kind of broke that mold is Paula Sakelius, who also did very, very well, and she's on my wish list to come back next year. So do you think that's the right idea now to go down the YouTube route, the Instagram, the TikTok, or do you think, the charts are still a viable source? Do you still think Sweden's still going to follow that same sort of format they do in Melodifestivalen as well? Just speaking of that, because your artists are being announced like within the next month as well, so.
Yeah, I think we are going to go down the same route as we have always been doing. And I mean, in Melodifestivalen they find people from all different kinds of roads. We had Ellen Benediktsson a couple of years ago, who was a stand-in at the rehearsals they did before the artists arrived for Eurovision in Malmö. So they will probably find different people in different roads. And when it comes to the UK, I want you to send Electro Velvet again, because I want you down below Sweden as usual.
Oh, we beat you one time, and then you suddenly want us to send our worst act again. Christ. Let us have our moment. Don't get me wrong, I was surprised Sam beat Cornelia, but still, let us have our moment.
Let's not get started about that, because
So
I'm still mad about
I was sat in front of 10 Swedes in the arena. It was incredible.
No, it would have been best.
They were absolutely fuming.
I still don't understand how you can be upset with fourth when you consistently do that well. I mean, that's one of their highest placings in recent years as well. I mean, I just like to find
Well, you know my feelings about Hold Me Closer.
Yes, I know you love it and her and everything about it. I still think it's funny that Spanish fans still say we didn't deserve it, but look, it's happened. Move on. It's been 6 months. Meg, if you had the choice, obviously, like I said, we're now getting to the crunch time. We're going to find an artist to replace Sam. This is now the home artist. So it's quite a big deal. It's like it's in your city as well. So who would you want to represent there? What do you think the industry should be doing? Where would you go from here with this situation?
Well, I think it's interesting that Stuart brought up rock music. So I think often you see it when you are a host country, it is a good time to maybe try taking some risks in genre. You see, like, I don't know, Ukraine in 2017 sent a rock song. Portugal the year after sent something a bit more sort of chill. The Dutch entry in 2020 and 2021 were both quite, very different. So I think it is. The BBC won't want to win next year because could you imagine 2 years in a row? They will not want that. But so it could be a good time to take some risks, like we've said. Send something a little bit different, something a bit more divisive, and see where it gets us. And if we get a solid top 10 placing, I think that's another fantastic result for us. So I don't really have any names in mind, but I am itching for us to do something a little bit different and take more risks with it.
Brilliant. I mean, I said it on the last show about 2 months ago who I want, and my point still stands. I still want the modern country pop duo of Ward Thomas. They're a female pop duo who do amazing music, who have great albums, and I think they'd be perfect for it, and I'm going to stand by it. Will it be them? Probably not. Will I feel a delight if they do get announced? Yes.
No, it won't be them.
That's fine. I still have their albums I can listen to, but in an ideal world, I would send them. Sean, you, like I said, you're very, not into the wrong word, but you pay very close attention to this and say you always have an opinion about the BBC's approach. I always said also TaP should have organised the national final and done it that way, so that at least they can sift out the crap and still have 6 very high quality songs. Obviously, that's not going to happen by the sounds of it. But what would you do? And don't say you can't send Sonia. She's not allowed. She will probably submit a song now.
But wouldn't it be great to have a Liverpudlian representing the UK? Because let's face it, this year it's going to be very Ukraine heavy, which is great, and it should be. And I think the interval acts are going to be pretty much primarily Ukrainian. I'd like to think there'll be a Ukrainian element to the postcards. We're pretty much guaranteed, I think, a Ukrainian host as well. Wouldn't it be great to have a Scouser singing? Okay, not Sonia. She could be backing singer or something backstage. I don't know. But I think it'd be great to have a Liverpudlian singing. Probably won't happen, but it'd be great. I hope the BBC and TaP Music don't play it safe, though. Don't think that, right, we don't want to win next year. Let's send something mediocre or, maybe just a bit better than we normally would. We need to carry on this momentum that we've already got from Sam Ryder, passing it forward to whoever the representative is this year. Phil Michelle, exactly right. They need to be very positive, very likable, and they need to work just as hard as Sam Ryder did. Go all the way around Europe, do the gigs, do the chat shows, do the busking in the park, everything that Sam Ryder did, that and more if possible. Song-wise, I think TaP Music were very, very lucky last year. They found Sam Ryder, and they didn't know Sam Ryder had this song. Sam Ryder said, oh, yeah, when he turned around after a couple of weeks and said, mulling it over and said, yeah, I'll do it, and I've already got the song. And he had Spaceman, which was perfect for Eurovision, but it wasn't written with Eurovision in mind. And that's what's important going forwards, I think. Don't find an artist and then say to them, go and write a song for Eurovision. We need to find an artist that's already got a song written. Because if we find an artist, if we say, go and write a song for Eurovision, we're probably going to get what we've had before, something generic and lazy and cliched and probably middle of the road, which is not really where we want to be anymore.
Very good point. So just a question for the chat room, and please send in your comments as well. Should the UK take a risk? Yes or no? And if you have any suggestions for artists they should submit, send them in as well. Stuart, coming back to you, what would you like to follow up on this with?
Yeah, I was just going to look back on Sean's point, actually. We didn't win this year. I think that's the most important thing. We came second, right? And we didn't win the televote. We won the jury vote. So I don't think we can afford to rest on our laurels. And I don't think you can look at it as we don't want to win Eurovision again. Well, we didn't win it. We're hosting it by default, right? So we came second overall, which is a phenomenal result for the UK. The Spanish argue that actually if the 6 votes that weren't votes were votes, maybe the UK comes third. Yeah, there's lots of different arguments. There's lots of stuff playing out here. However, it's irrelevant. UK's hosting, but the UK have to try to replicate the success of 2022. And they have the formula now. You know, the formula's always been the same. Actually, it's never really changed. You pick a great song, a great artist, great performance, and you put it all together. And what have you got? You've got a good Eurovision entry. It's that simple. The realities are the UK of late have never really invested in the song. We've never really had an artist that is credible or that wants to go to Eurovision and is experienced at performing. Well, you can argue Sam Ryder isn't, but actually he's got the gravitas and the will to do it. And then you certainly don't have the investment in the performance, which absolutely the UK did this year. I remember the EBU or members of the EBU releasing a statement shortly after their meeting back in whenever it was, saying, watch out for the UK staging, it's the best this year. Now, that was a bit of intel released really early on, and it proved to be exactly correct. So I think the UK really have to work with TaP again. BBC have to work with TaP and try to find the next Sam Ryder. And that could be anything. It could be a band, it could be a male singer, it could be a female singer, it could be something completely different. We've just got to make sure that we maintain this momentum, because if you drop a level, you'll be back down the bottom. I don't believe it's easy for the big, is it 5 or 6? I can't remember. To be in, there's no middle ground because there aren't enough votes to go around. You're either in the top 5 or 6 or the bottom 5 or 6. That's the way it works at Eurovision. That's the way the voting works. The UK will either remain in the top now because they'll invest in it and they'll get it right and they'll make the right choices, or they'll be back down the bottom again. My hope is that we remain at the top, and that's exactly where it should be. I actually think by the BBC taking the view to move the 3 programmes to BBC One this year is a massive indicator that this is here to stay. And I'm here for it. I'm really excited for the BBC. Finally, they've got the formula that they've been looking for. They're confident in it, and they're going to continue it. So all good.
Can I just nip in on that, on what Stuart said about you're either in the top or you're in the bottom? It was like France had voila, all the way up near the top, and then this year all the way near the bottom. It's, you know, it's either or. There doesn't seem to be any middle ground.
But even this year, though, they took a risk. All right, it didn't pay off, but at least they did take their risk.
Yeah, I was a bit annoyed because I did love the French entry this year because it was a risk and it was different, and then it completely crashed and burned. And I'm still sad about it. Michelle, you're on mute.
Sorry.
Do you want a fun fact?
Go for it.
Yay!
Well, as Stuart says, size doesn't matter. But the clock faces on the Liver building are the biggest in the country at 25 feet, while Big Ben's are only 23 feet in diameter. There you go. Bigger than Big Ben.
And one hasn't had a recent makeover.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think, like I said, the BBC hosting all 3 shows on BBC One for the first time ever is a huge statement of intent. I was pretty surprised when I saw that. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what they do. But like I said, I just don't want it to be generic, because that's the worst thing your song can be is nice and inoffensive, because that means no one's talking about it. Just there. It may as well just be rename ourselves Germany then at this point. Sorry, Germans who are watching. I know you guys are lovely, but you have sent bland songs the last few years and it's shown. Like, Malik, he's a lovely guy. His song was nothing. Sorry.
Throwing a bit of shade here, we've sent one good song.
I mean, yeah.
And perspective, you know.
Yeah. Calm
And
down.
to be fair, every year we say the same thing, is that we send a good singer with an inoffensive song, so it just lands middle of the road, like Suri. brilliant singer, very experienced. She knew what she was doing. The
Mhm.
song wasn't for her. Her music is completely different. Michael Rice's music is completely different to Bigger Than Us. That's my point.
Can I just add to that though? Let's not forget when Sam Ryder's song was first released, there was a bit of a it's all right reaction until it found its way to Turin. And what did they do? They were really clever with that song. They had to shorten it from 3.5 minutes anyway, and they went, let's rip out the ending to the song and we'll shove in a guitar solo. It elevated that song so much, and it gave Sam exactly what he needed, his moment on stage, which will never be forgotten. That's clever staging. That's not the song. A song can become great with the right staging and the right singer. Sam is absolutely the reason the UK finished second last year.
Yeah.
But you have to give props to his team and the BBC for what they did with that song, because it was incredible.
Yeah, I completely agree. I actually had it written down to mention, call it a golden buzzer moment, kind of, because that's exactly what it was. It was that, yes, that was the moment that the UK were going to do very, very well. It was perfect. Yeah, something like that again this year would be perfect. Not Steps, though, Andrew, from the chat room.
Yeah.
I love Steps. I love Steps. You know I love Steps, but not for Eurovision.
I mean, everyone's talking about Sam staging, but when I think of Eurovision 22 staging, my mind's going to go to Achille Lauro, because it was as batshit as I had ever dreamed. He had a giant bull on stage, for God's sake. It was amazing. It was so stupid and camp. I loved it.
That was the best staging there. We were miles away, and even from miles away, it looked sticky. That's what you want. You want everyone to know what you're going for.
Looks sticky. There's a comment I never thought I'd hear. Right. And just before we move on to our final point, a bit more news that's come out this year linked to 2023, which I think is good to mention, is that Spain is announcing the national finals for Benidorm Fest later this month. They've received 786 songs, and 16 this year will go through to the national final. I can't confirm if Sarah Diop has sent another song, Stuart, sadly, but she might have come back. I don't know how much you loved her song last year.
I liked it until she opened her mouth, Elliot. That was the issue. That was the issue. Great song, by the way. Just didn't really work on stage. Sorry, Sarah.
You know what? Yeah. Say that about me, Stu. They like me till I open my mouth.
It's exactly what I say about you, Michelle. Yeah. She's all right till she opens her mouth.
And it's also been rumoured that Montenegro and Bulgaria aren't returning. Now, there's no confirmation about this, but they also haven't confirmed that they're competing. So it is looking like those two nations are withdrawing this year. Reasons haven't been stated yet. Malta are changing their format. They're taking 40 songs over 6 shows to determine their winner. So get ready for all the ad breaks in the world. And the Ukraine will be the first national final this year, with them selecting their song and artist in Vidbir on the 17th of December. So it's before Thickness, which is amazing. Still just as long as Thick, though. Seriously, have anyone sat through a Ukrainian national final? They're like 4 hours long. It's a nightmare.
You have to kind of watch Festivali Kengas at Christmas time to just kind of prepare yourself for what's coming, really, don't you? I mean, that's a fun 3 or 4 hours each day.
It's just not. It's just not. And yet, it's like a car crash. I just can't stop watching it. It's just like...
And then there's San Remo.
Oh, God. Oh, don't. Oh, it's October.
We're just warning you now, mate. We're just warning you down, Michelle.
I can't believe we sat through hours of San Marino this year as well. I mean, that was as low as, I think I had to question my life choices at that moment. It wasn't good. It really wasn't good.
It just wasn't. Oh, God. I'm rethinking all my life choices right now.
Don't worry, Michelle. Meg lost her name as much as anyone, so she'll be there with you, virtually holding your hand, sitting through all of that performances.
I can't wait for Melfest. It's so exciting. I'm going 3 times this year. 3 times.
And this is just proof that Sean is basic. So it's a snappy hour and 20-minute show. It's just like in one ear, out the other.
Oh my God, this is why Elliot is my favourite.
I love you all, but the joke was there. I had to, and I'm not going to apologise. I mean, saying that, I do want to go to Sweden next year, so maybe I should start before I'm banned from the country. And lastly, obviously, now the UK is hosting Eurovision, everyone is suddenly interested in it. Obviously, we are, I don't want to say veterans, that's the wrong word, experienced in dealing with Eurovision, how this whole timeline works, and tickets, and God knows what, and what else. But some people won't know what to do, and they may not have been to Eurovision before, and this is the first time, even as Eurovision fans, it's actually viable that they can attend. So for everyone who's watching, and you guys as well, and I'll start with Sean in this one. What is the one bit of advice you would give to someone going to Eurovision for the first time? Like things to avoid, things to do. Like, what would you be your advice for someone going to Eurovision for the first time?
Vodka.
I'm quite concerned the entire panel nodded at that response.
Lots and lots of vodka. No, just embrace it. You know, it is an if you get to Eurovision, whether it be this year in Liverpool or next year, wherever, it's just the most amazing thing. Embrace it. You'll hopefully get an opportunity to go to the Euro Cafe or the Euro Club, see the sights. You'll meet loads of new friends. I've got friends from all over the world, as of most of these guys, through Eurovision, that are friends for life, and it is just the most incredible thing. It's just as much about the people to me as it is the music and the spectacle of the whole event. It's just absolutely amazing. You'll absolutely love it. There's nothing quite like it. And even if you don't get tickets for the live shows, there's an easy opportunity to get tickets for maybe the family shows or the jury finals and semi-finals. And if not, just go to the Eurovision Village, watch it on the big screens, meet loads of new friends. It's just a big, big party, a week-long party, and Liverpool certainly know how to party. You're going to have a great time.
Meg, what would you say? Because you went to Lisbon, and I do remember, that's quite like a last minute like smash and grab for your journey to Lisbon, if I remember correctly. So I think so. It still looked like you had a fabulous time though, and I was very jealous when I saw you getting on the plane. But what would you say for someone who is traveling? Maybe say someone's coming abroad to Liverpool, or someone says traveling up. What would you say? Like, how would you sell Eurovision as an experience to someone?
It's like Sean said, it's just the most sort of surreal experience. Like, you can imagine going, but there's nothing quite like, I've never felt joy like stepping into that arena for the first time. It is just the most incredible vibe, the most incredible party. And I just think, yeah, just the same sort of thing, really. Just enjoy every second of it and take the time to explore, go and see the city, go and see Merseyside as a whole. There's so much to do here. And also a bit of like serious advice, I guess. A lot of my friends and my family members are saying now that it's in Liverpool, oh, how do we get tickets? Let's go and see it. And I'm thinking, you'll be lucky. So just remember, there are lots of shows to go and see. Some of them will be cheaper. And you might even end up having a better time at the Village watching it with all the other fans and enjoying it that way and getting to do a lot of drinking. So yeah, just to remember there's a lot to Eurovision. It's not just 3 concerts. It's a full takeover of the city for a week, and just enjoy every second of it, really.
Brilliant. Good stuff. Now, you've had this experience before. It came to Stockholm whilst you were living there in 2016, but you also volunteered at Eurovision 2016. So from a fan's perspective and a volunteering perspective, what would you say? Because a lot of people who maybe don't want to go or maybe a bit young, they might consider volunteering. I'm not going to lie, it's something I've considered maybe doing, but I have volunteering experience before. But what would you say experiencing Eurovision in your home city is like, and volunteering at the event as well?
Okay. Experiencing Eurovision in my home city was like the best thing ever. The whole city just was lit up with Eurovision, and it was crazy. And I'm not talking only about like when Eurovision is there. It was crazy the months before as well. Everyone was preparing for it. Everyone was talking about it, and the city was buzzing for months. Actually, it was just this crazy feeling of having something that you love happening in your city, and you could see it everywhere you went. It was absolutely amazing. I think volunteering was a thing, was a way for me to get involved, and I loved every second of it, even if I was like awake all night and day and not sleeping, and my liver needed a break after, because when I was not volunteering, I was partying or having fun, you know. So be prepared for hard work, but it's also going to be really, really rewarding. And don't forget to bring protection.
I'm not going to ask further about that. I will just say about the volunteering side, from my experience, wear comfortable shoes. The amount of times I've seen people come to events where they're standing on their feet for 9 hours a day in brand new shoes, I look at them like they've grown a second head. Wear comfy shoes and break them in, because you're going to hate yourself if you don't. Phil, Michelle, you have done a fair few Eurovisions. You always go in your suit and dress. It's always lovely to see, because the camera normally finds you then, so it's quite easy. What would you say? Obviously, you've always come back and said about what a wonderful time you've had in all these different cities and experiences, but what would you say if somebody hasn't had that experience yet?
It's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, right, shall we put it on a level of the football people that do the football?
Yeah, why not?
Well, imagine that your team is playing the whole of Europe at the football, all in one country, and instead of kicking off and fighting and going, oh, fuck you, I'm better than you, you go, oh, I think you've got a good song. And they go, oh, no, I think you've got a good song this year. Yeah. And then you see someone else, you go, oh, yours isn't that good. And they go, oh, I know it's not that good. And then you get shit-faced. Then you meet the people, and then they're lovely. That's what it's like. It's like the football, but with happiness.
Yeah. It's the friendliest thing. I mean, if you want to get tickets, there's a fair chance you'll get tickets to something. But even if you don't, you'll still have a great time.
Yeah, go to the village.
You know, the bars will be full of people there for Eurovision. The village will be full of. Just talk to people.
Yeah, if you turn up on your own, I guarantee you that if you wander up, you can tell a Eurovision person a mile away. You're not going to get it wrong. You will not get this wrong. You can go to Liverpool. You can wander up to someone you think, oh, I think they like Eurovision. You're probably right. And you go, oh, it's my first time at a Eurovision, blah, blah, blah. And they'll go, I've been 50 times, darling. I'll tell you what. And it'll be brilliant. You will make so many friends forever, all around the world. We know people all around the world. And I don't even like people in my own village.
No, we've got no friends in this country. But...
No. But around the world, they seem a lot nicer.
No, not you, Sean.
We all go for one reason, and that is Eurovision. Our song might win, it might not win. It's the thrill of the fight, as I think it was Survivor said. That's one for the youth. And it's brilliant. Everybody, if you're on your own, just talk to somebody. And that's it. You'll lose about 2 days, to be fair, though, because you'll just be drunk. But we went to Vienna. We bought tickets 2 days before Vienna for the very first time. We drove to Vienna. We didn't know anybody whatsoever. We had family tickets for the Saturday morning. They were the only tickets we had. And we had, oh my God, we met so many people. It was ridiculous.
It was fantastic.
You'll have a whale of a time. Don't think about it. Just do it.
I think we should have another fact now.
Oh, okay. Right, you ready? Well, you've heard of Stonehenge, but the Calder Stones, you can find them in Hart Hill greenhouses in Calder Stones Park, are even older. These are 6 sandstone blocks that were once part of a chartered tomb, believed to be Neolithic, which means they were constructed before Stonehenge, somewhere between 10,000 BC and, I don't know, 4,500 BC. Liverpool is known as the home of Europe's longest established Chinese community. Oh, it's a different one. As well as boasting the largest Chinese arch in Europe. There's 2 for 1. 2 for 1.
That was a fact hunt.
Yeah, you're more than welcome for that fact hunt. That's one for the youth.
What do you think I said?
Fact hunt.
There you go. Go and have a look at the Calder Stones. You'll wish you had if you don't.
I think that's very advice from all of you guys. I would say don't discount the jury shows because it's not been televised doesn't mean they're not important. The jury show still has half the vote. And I'm weird. I'm pixelated.
Elliot, it's like you're in space.
Exterminate.
Right. Stuart, go to the comments once I reset this thing clearly, because something's gone.
No,
I know I knew what he said. He never asked me what I thought of Eurovision. So shall I just talk for 2 minutes so he can go and sort himself out? There he goes. Off he goes. Elliot's gone now. What should we do? Should we have some fun while he's not here?
I've got 1,000 facts.
Right, what do you not like about Elliot? Oh, he's back.
I'll tell you. Oh, wait, hang on. No, he's my favourite today.
Sorry about that, guys. This is how you can tell this is live. So, Stuart, like I said, I was saying, like, don't discount the jury show because those shows still have half the results, so they are still very important. So don't shrug them off. What would you say to anyone who's wanting to go for the first time, and what is the comment section saying as well? And I do apologise for turning into a Dalek halfway through that.
It's all right. What's an ESC fan TV show without some kind of technical difficulty, Elliot? Well, the chat room is saying just go, basically. I think that's the point that they're trying to make. I think anyone who wants to go to Eurovision should go. And I think if you think tickets going to be easy this year, you'd be very, very wrong. And please stop asking all your Eurovision friends for tickets because we're getting so fed up with it. Every single person
try.
Can I have tickets, please? You do realise there's ballots and all sorts of stuff, and there's a possibility we won't be going. We'll be in the same bars with you. But what I would recommend is for those who have never experienced Eurovision before, go to places like London Eurovision Party, Amsterdam, Eurovision in concert in Amsterdam, Eurovision in Spain, Madrid. What's the Madrid one called? I forgot the name of it now. And maybe even fly to Tel Aviv. Go to that one because it'd be warm out there, and you can have some fun in the sun. But that will certainly give you an experience of Eurovision, and that will prepare you for what is yet to come. And beyond all that, screw tickets. Go to Liverpool. Go and have a nice time. Meet lots of friends. Go and annoy Phil and Michelle in their Union Jack suits and dresses, and just enjoy the atmosphere because that's what Eurovision's all about. It is the best party, and anyone who has never experienced it absolutely should.
Brilliant. And just go for annoy. And if you can't find the Union Jack suits, they'll be on a ferry somewhere or a canal boat. They're very easy to find. Just go to the water. They'll be there somewhere.
If anywhere that's outside, if it's not raining, that's serving booze, we're probably going to be somewhere close.
You'll hear her before you see her.
Well, thanks for that, Sean. That's why you're not my favourite. Do you want another quick fact? Quick, you ready?
Yeah.
Liverpool was founded by King John, aka the villain in Robin Hood.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, Phil's got one.
Yeah,
I'm the fact
go on,
woman.
Go on then. Have you hunted another fact? Go on
Fuck
then.
you read it.
It was apparently so he could attack the Irish.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, honestly, this is why you're not my favourite.
And on that note, I think it's time to call it there before we have a murder on stream and they were liable to this to the police. So thank you everyone who has been watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do and follow all our social media. We'll be doing a lot more like this between now and the contest itself. Like I said, if it's your first time, this is normally how it goes. We're fans just giving our opinion. We're not always nice, we're not always polite, but we're always honest, as I like to say. And if you have a disagreeing opinion, that's valid as well. But for now, it is time to run away into the night. So I want to say thank you to my panel. A big thank you to Sean.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks, Elliot. And thanks to everyone else on panel. Thanks to everyone in the chat room. And can't wait. It's going to be a brilliant season. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be boss.
From Stockholm, thank you, Gustav. We'll be seeing you in the UK next year, hopefully.
Well, thank you for having me. I had a blast, and it's so nice to be back. I have missed every one of you, and hopefully you will see me in the UK. You never know.
Hopefully, it'll be good too. Thank you to Phil and Michelle. We look forward to your berry going around the Scottish Isles to get you from Hull to Liverpool.
No, I think you'll find actually Oban's flying into Manchester and we're taking him to Cambridge and Stratford-upon-Avon.
Yeah, we're having a road trip with Oban.
Because the foreigners don't love Shakespeare and punting. But that's what we went for anyway.
But Cambridge is that you're going the wrong way if you go to Cambridge. That's a very seen it through.
I'm just going to give something to Oban that he'll go, ooh, and he'll not talk to us.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, what is there really interesting to see between Manchester Airport and Liverpool?
Oh, there's loads of saunas. You'll love that. Just take
Did it
him on
have
them.
metro? Oh, don't start him on that again, Jesus! I can't believe he found somebody on Grindr in Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein. There was only 10 people in there. Thanks, everyone. Eurovision, it's bloody brilliant.
I now can't wait for the San Remo show at 2 a.m. even more now. This is what we're like at 9 p.m. And Meg, thank you so much for coming on for your first show. I hope you really thoroughly enjoyed it and we haven't scared you off too much.
I have. Thanks so much for having me. Can't wait to hopefully see you all in Liverpool.
We look forward to seeing you there as well, mate. And finally, a big thank you to my co-host, Stuart.
Hey, it's my pleasure, Elliot. Thank you as well for hosting. And just remember what Gustav says, because it's a very, very sound advice. If you're coming to the UK next year, make sure you bring your protection. And by that, I assume he means an anorak. Good night, folks.
And it's a good night for me as well. Thank you so much, everyone who's watched it. We love doing this for you guys. And like I said, from between now and May, we're going to be seeing a lot of us. So get used to our faces. But for now, it's good night. So bye for now, guys.